Hey, what's going on? Coalport Carl, another week's here to talk to you about everything like I do. This week, I want to start off by saying, went last week there down to Barvona and did that parade. Really enjoyed riding in a fire truck. Never did that before. Fire truck's pretty cool, man. Way up there in the air, you know. Big engine. You can feel the power in there, you know, when you get on it. You can feel it. I was liking the way that felt. Problem I had with it was that black vinyl seat I was sitting on, and the way the truck's designed, the engine's right underneath your, your bottom there, you know, and heat was just generating like mad under there, boy, I tell you. Time I got through the end of that parade route, because we traveled about a whole 2 mile an hour the whole way, by the time I got to the end of that parade route, Carl was pretty swamp ass. I tell you, I had to go over at the park and get myself a couple of beers, blast it down real quick, because I tell you, you get yourself sitting on top of that big diesel engine, it cranks there for about 2 hours right underneath you like that. You get a pretty warm bosom. I tell you that right now. A lot of people don't call or ask the bosom. I do. A lot of people refer to the chest as the bosom, whereas to me, you look at the two cheeks right next to one another, they sort of resemble two woman's breasts. So to me, I call it the bosom down there just the same as I call it the bosom up above. A lot of guys don't grasp that concept, but that's how I do it, really. I want to talk to you a little bit this week about some movies I've been thinking about. I was watching this show on TV where they talk about what movies are good and what movies ain't, what you ought to see and what you shouldn't and such. You know, I was watching that and they started talking about this movie called The Piano. I thought, I ain't gonna watch no movie about a piano. I guarantee you that ain't a good movie. There ain't no way that's a good movie. About a piano? I can tell you everything you need to know about a piano in about 5 minutes. They're going to turn that into a 2.5 hour movie? No thanks. I don't want to see it. I'm giving that one a thumbs down. The other one I did was surprised they didn't talk about Smokey and the Bandit. That's probably the best movie of all time, Smokey and the Bandit. They never talked about it at all. I started doing some checking around, you know. I asked my buddy down there, Chief Reefer. I don't mean my buddy Reefer, I mean my buddy Todd Reefer. I asked him about it. He said he checked the internet and he don't even think it won any Oscars. How can you take a movie like Smokey and the Bandit and not win an Oscar? That's the best movie of all time. Burt Reynolds was the king in that. He should have got Best Actor that year for sure. Favorite comedy? Cannonball Run. Dom DeLuise. It doesn't get any funnier than that. Dom DeLuise is about as funny as it gets. A lot of you younger guys probably don't know Dom DeLuise. I'm going to tell you about him. He's only about the greatest comedian of all time, really. You get him and Burt Reynolds together in a movie, Cannonball Run, that's one funny movie right there. Didn't get any recognition either. I don't understand it. I was thinking about, you know, they said that movie had Sense and Sensibility. Thumbs down on that. I don't know what it's about. I don't know who was in it, but with a name like that, it ain't no good, I'll guarantee it. I started thinking, you want to see a good movie, it ain't going to be Sense and Sensibility. It's going to be Fast and Furious. There's another good movie. We talked about that in one of my videos about that actor in there. I won't even say his name anymore because the fact of the matter is I don't know it. But that's a good movie, Fast and Furious. Another good movie I'm trying to think here off the top of my head, that movie Bullet. I just recently seen that. A buddy of mine recommended it, Bullet. I'm going to tell you what, Steve Queen's amazing. That's one of my favorite actors now. Steve Queen, the way he drives that Mustang. Yeah, he's ripping around, but I tell you what, that Mustang has some power too. You see him ripping down them streets, buddy. Yeah, I think he's in California somewhere, you know. I don't know where he's at for sure, but boy, he's ripping it up too. He got on that gas pedal hardcore. That old Mustang brings me to thinking how much I like Fords, you know. I've never been much of a Chevy guy, really, even though I drive a Cavalier. I figured myself as a hoot for driving it as it is. I certainly ain't going to promote the Chevrolet. I'm a Ford guy, and justifiably so. They're bad vehicles. Boy, I tell you right, I could drive them all day, Ford. I could get me one of them Mustangs like Bullet had. Steve Queen. I bet he still has it, probably. I didn't check into it, but I bet he still does. Why wouldn't he hold on to a car that cool? course you hold on to it. Why wouldn't you really? And some guy says to me his favorite actor of all time, best actor in the world, Robert De Niro. I thought, I'm going to look into this Robert De Niro guy. So I saw Bullwinkle. He is a pretty good actor. I figure anybody can do that movie like that. Pretty good, you know. Plus, that's a funny movie. I enjoyed Bullwinkle a lot. Check out that Son of a Woman, too. Hoo-ah! That's a pretty decent movie, really. I figure that's a pretty good movie. I get not a Tom Cruise fan, really. If I'm going to watch a Tom Cruise movie, I like to watch Mission Impossible. That's a good one. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to become a movie critic or anything, but I'm trying to tell people I don't think they understand what a good movie is. They said to me, The English Patient. What? The English Patient. I want to be a patient. Be a patient right here in America, the English patient. What's that mean? Somebody can't speak English, so they got to go to a doctor teaching them to speak English. Now they're an English patient. I didn't see it. Thumbs down for me. I'm not going to see it, really. I'm not going to see a movie like that, probably. What about The King's Speech? Well, I care how the king spoke. Doesn't matter to me. My favorite movie about down that line would be a Terminator speech. You can get a robot to speak as clearly as he did. You know, I'm not worried about the king speaking. Of course, the king can speak. His family's filthy rich. They can teach him to speak by any means necessary. Don't worry about that, really. They got foolishness, really. And last but not least on my list, probably be Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Anything John Candy in should have won an Oscar, too. I'll tell you that right now. That's a good movie. Uncle Buck. You gotta love all those movies, really. Vacation, first one he's in there, you know, working out the park, Wally World or whatever. That's what a lot of guys call Walmart, but I don't. I call Walmart Walmart on account of that's what it is. But John Candy are working up at Wally World there. It's good in that movie. That's a good movie. That's what I want to talk about this week. Just a little bit of movie criticking. I hope everybody's doing good this week. Hope everybody's staying blasted. And I want to say hi to the guys down there at 5-Star Suzuki in the service department. They're looking into old Carl. Carl's looking back at you, buddy. Maybe I can down there and buy myself a Suzuki. Probably not, though, because they don't go fast like in Ford Mustangs. If I get a Mustang, I figure you guys are probably good enough to keep it maintained for me. You know, even though you work typically on Suzuki. And I think probably you can handle the big old Ford muscle car. If I can get a hold of Steve Queen, I'm going to probably see about getting a hold of that car, maybe even if I can just take one ride in it. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do for sure. Hey, hope you all have a good week. I'll talk to you soon. Later.